talk about sports just for a minute. Sports breeds competition among men. And I was sort of wondering why we do that. You know, there's always something. The Olympics, the Super Bowl, the NHL, the football, I don't know what they call that. It's the worst one of all. It's boring, you know, for women. And if you think women enjoy sports, they don't. They hate it. Because they don't have the skeleton, for one thing, to play sports. And it's boring. It's creating back and forth competition. And entertainment for people that have something to sell. It's stupid, in my view. It's a disclaimer. But I stand with Jesus in what I'm focused on. On this channel, what has unfolded is reincarnation. That we are all spirits. And the veil is thinning, where people are becoming more aware that they are far more than they were led to believe. At least, you know, what I'm seeing in men, you know, a lot of men are coming up. Well, you know, they're left alone. And women are capable of creating anything out of nothing. I have proven that after being discarded by my own family, because I am the light and I shine my light on the truth. And I noticed when people look at me and talk to me, they don't give eye contact, and then suddenly they give eye contact and they stop talking and they look away. I can't tell you how often that happens. And I often wonder, are you judging me, or what the hell's going on here? Because I don't know. All I know is how I feel around people. And I feel judgment. And I am really certain that people that live in fear, they have to unload that fear. And pointing fingers is competition. I'm better than you. We're all here playing a role. And you are no better than me. I'm no better than you. On the other side, we're the spirits, guys. And we come into a simulation of life that's pre-existing, and we find our place in it and do what we do. And where we are at is at the end of a 500-year simulation. So this one is over. It's completely shattering, as you can tell. In the West, it's it's like a living nightmare for too many people, right? Well, in my opinion, it's the weeping and gnashing of teeth that Jesus was written to have said. And he did say, there will be much weeping and gnashing of teeth. So, but people can make a choice. It's all about our thinking and focus. And you can take those eyeballs and focus on sports, or you can work on making your dream a dream to remember. And the only dream to remember is concerning love. It's the only one we will remember, want to remember. Love is the only real emotion that we can carry forward and live in a peace, in a heavenly earth. But when we are competing, when our men are competing and not building with their physical structure, their bones are built to build. Remember, Jesus was a carpenter? That's all kind of neat, eh? Everything's perfect and divine in our world. I know this because it is when I get out of my way. And we get in our way when we're distracted, pointing fingers, and competing. Look at the way women compete with our image. And in order to feel like a woman, we compare ourselves to other women. And we often follow the Barbie doll look. right? But for women, we like to change clothes and hairstyle, and we love to apply makeup. It makes us feel beautiful, and we want to. But when women are mocked for being women and not men, not like men, oh, you don't like sports, oh, and so some women pretend to like sports, but they'd really rather be creating. My grandmother and mother, I was like, my mother sewed. She could sew our clothes. Like, I can't. I can't sew. And my grandmother could do knitting and crochet, and all of her gifts to the family were handmade. And to me, that's love. And in my memory, right, it's homemade. And women can do these things, like make delicious meals. I've learned the more time you take in creating and enjoying yourself as you create, the better the outcome, the heavenly outcome, the joy. Now, I could be crazy here, right? Like, hey, disclaimer, this is my channel. I have had my own personal experiences, and this is what has unfolded in soul recovery with the consciousness of Christ. That's the first title of this channel ever. And then I've been changing it as my own consciousness has been unfolding. What happened to me spiritually is my son, Trevor Forever, came back to tell me that he was deceased. And I was a Christian. But suddenly I felt his spirit all around me. And nobody was going to tell me different. So instead of wanting to know more, my family judged me. And in this world, it's okay to judge what the masses, want you to judge. You got to go with your favorite team. And then you feel good when you got the numbers. She's crazy. But I assure you, I'm not. If I was crazy, I'd feel off balance or something. And the only time I feel off balance is now, after I had a stroke. And then painful rheumatoid arthritis and broken back in 3 places without any surgery or pain medicine. No, I had nothing. And then the heart, for 3 years this August, I have had this heart failure. And it really, has put me down in weakness, right? And just now I am feeling it a lot more. I'm just saying, I feel it. And I tried to go out yesterday, but it wasn't a good. I went to bingo with my walker. I took a taxi, but anyway, I was out of breath, and I couldn't really stand up. So, I don't want pity. It's a good thing. Like, it means that this simulation is over, at least for me. And this is my dream, right? And to me, we get a new one. And I urge anybody who wants a new, better dream is to make this one a better dream, to wake up to and make it feel good. Like if you're a man and you really failed your family, which, they did. But that's the way they're raised, right? By media. So there's nothing to point fingers at or forgive. We just get going. Stop with the competition and power struggle and use the talent you have right now and help make the world a better place by starting at home. And women are very forgiving, especially, I'm talking about the women that have had your children or are your mothers, okay? Is really back to basics. You didn't pick her for nothing, and ladies, you didn't pick him for nothing. Nothing is a mistake in life or death. You don't have that kind of power. And not here, you do on the other side. And you have created a story that you wanted. And now, through judgment or fear or competition, power struggles, gender struggles, come on. Yeah, men are gonna win physically every freaking time. Physically. But women are going to win emotionally. And that's what matters to Jesus and King James and Elvis Presley and Trevor Forever. And it's not just my family that has reincarnated. If you look up some near-death experiences or reincarnation stories, especially from children, somebody is reborn. Every time you have a new infant around, you got grandpa or grandma or great-grandma, or maybe it's mom, right? And they tend to go in soul groups. Like, I have a feeling my mother would wait for her favorite granddaughter to be ready. And when my granddaughter was ready, I feel she gave birth to my mother. And then my brother suddenly passed away in 2023. And I feel that's part of the divine plan for him to be reborn as a sibling to my mother. Because they're like soulmates. They were in this life. And I know we choose our mothers. And I know my mother would choose my brother's oldest daughter, or only daughter, really. And that's how it works. It's in the family. That's why you shouldn't judge, especially your family. You don't know who that was. And if you were in love, but you fell out of love because you're distracted with something, power struggle, get your focus back and show the children what a real, love looks like. Don't be afraid of looking stupid. I look stupid all the time. You get used to it. And you can play it out any way you want, as long as you are playing up to your role. And, after I read my book, it wasn't until I read my own book, my memoir, that I realized who I am. Seriously. I write a diary, and I encourage everyone, especially men. No, women like to do this anyway, express themselves. They got no one to talk to. They've got diaries, and they get it out. It's important, or we'd be like, well, maybe we are exploding inside now. And it might show up in your body weight. But if you get out some steam, then maybe you can sharpen your focus and put your head to where you want to go, not where you're being led, like, kind of dogs. And I don't know if you got this far listening, but it was really going to be about sports. But I just want you to notice that, it's stupid and a fantasy and distracting. And if we are at the end of a simulation, it's a waste of freaking time. And if I'm just in my own dream and making shit up about Jesus and being crazy, at least I have found a way to cope. And my career is as a life coach, a teacher of life survival, employment, and human resources and business and criminology. You can go to my Facebook or LinkedIn and see. I was able to muster together some career, even as a failure in school, as a left-brainer. No, I'm not. Nope. And my brain is shriveling up and dying. I can feel it. And, I'm hanging on to whatever I've got right now. And if I sound crazy to you, it's okay. I am feeling balanced. And I stand, no matter what, I do stand with Jesus Christ because he's my son. And we stand for love. And we have every one of our lives. And every one of our lives, we have been demonized. We've been feared for the light to shine a truth on you, or we've just been judged as evil or crazy. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. What matters is what's in the heart. And as long as I don't have a hardened heart, I'm happy where I'm at and coping very well. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody. I do appreciate anyone who has listened. And if you got this far, give me a like. I doubt very much anybody wants my messages to go anywhere. But maybe you will one day. Maybe one day you'll be able to stretch your imagination. Because to me, if it can be imagined, it's possible. And your family is important to you. And my star cluster family, that's what I call them, star cluster family, are important to me and what we do. And you do what you do, because nobody can do you better. With love, this is Cheryl Ann Thomas. Bonne journée from Quebec City.